always a great pleasure to welcome Hylton Kallner, the CEO of Discovery Bank, to the show. And when we talk to Hylton, he's always got good news, and they're always, shooting out the lights somewhere or another. But Hylton, it's great to see you. I saw Adrian Gore's post the other day of Discovery being 34 years old, which is quite astonishing. And I couldn't believe it's 34 years. And you've been there for, 3 decades or more, if I'm not mistaken. So what it's taken to build this incredible organization. So happy birthday to you and your colleagues.
Thanks, Aki. Yeah, it's been a really kind of great journey, and I mean, it sounds like a really long time, but honestly, we in many respects just getting going, and I suppose the bank is a great case in point. It's young. It's just a kid in a sense, and while the organization itself, I think feels really large, institutional, and established. The reality is we've got startups all over the place, and it feels like we just at the starting line again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what you just said. We're just getting going because, I mean, there's just so many different offshoots and products. And I bet you, 34 years ago, and 30 years ago for you and Adrian didn't even dream that a bank was on the horizon. And here you are, a young bank, but delivering exceptional results. And I was looking at your results the other day, and Discovery Bank has delivered really strong interim results again. Your client numbers are up. Your deposits are up 21%, your advances are up 42%, your revenues are up 34%. It's really incredible when you look at how young the bank is. What do you believe is really driving this momentum, and how do you see this trajectory shaping the bank's next phase of growth? Because that's definitely something that you're looking at.
Yeah, absolutely. So we, I think that the period that we've just reported on really was exceptional in kind of reflecting the growth in every area of the bank, and really high quality growth. And when we see what's driving it, I think it's very much based on 3 things. The first being the share value model that we launched with. The sense that if you provide clients with the tools to manage their money well, and reward them for doing so, you can make them financially healthier. And we're seeing that that's playing out exceptionally well for our clients, and they're deriving huge amounts of benefit from that. Better interest on their savings, lower interest on their borrowings, and just an amazing set of rewards that they're monetizing through better financial behavior. The second aspect was that we knew that if you were to offer a shared value proposition at that scale, we would have to offer a full banking suite to our clients. We're able to provide them with the full kind of range of banking products that they need then to bank with Discovery. And that's what we set about building. And so, one of the key drivers of the advances and the revenue that you spoke about is the fact that clients are using Discovery Bank for all of the products: transactional products, savings, credit cards, personal loans, home loans. So the kind of the full product suite. It's not a light digital bank. It's a full service bank that we're offering to clients. And then the third component is very much aligned to, I suppose, the ecosystems that we then offer to our clients, far beyond just banking, and the ability to tap into our travel rewards, healthy food, healthy care, and the kind of the rewards that then stack up across the whole Discovery ecosystem. As a result, that if you're managing your health well and you're managing your finances and you drive well, then you really do benefit. So all of these things are, I think, kind of positioning us in a very different space to a traditional bank, and that kind of talks to where we're going in the future, which we see as a super bank, and that's almost the kind of the next evolution that we now see in the context of the bank itself.
Very interesting. Look, as a client, I can say that I agree with all 3 of your points. I mean, they really resonate with me. But if I could add a 4th point as a client, I would say just the ease of use for me. That the fact that it's so easy, and I love how digitally it just flows, and it's just easy to do this and easy to do that on the app. I think for me that seamless connectivity and everything's clearly laid out. I don't know. It just talks to me and my language and my Virgo-ness, if I could put it that way. But what you guys have done on that technology stack is really quite impressive as well. Now, you've spoken before about Discovery Bank functioning as a super bank. We had this discussion a while back within the group. Now, what does that actually mean in practical terms? What exactly is a super bank, and how does being a super bank really enhance the customer experience and the value which you spoke about earlier that Discovery can create across the entire ecosystem?
Yeah, so I think the kind of almost the definition of a super bank is a combination of the best of a super app functionality, so giving you access to a full kind of lifestyle, or a whole range of lifestyle services and applications, combined with state of the art digital banking functionality and capabilities and features, and really it manifests in a number of areas. Um, that are different to a traditional bank. Firstly, you get that kind of full stack digital banking capability that you described, a brilliant experience that is simple, seamless, but gives you incredible control over all aspects of your banking. The second is that super app integration, so the ability to access third parties like Easy Equities and Luno for your equities trading or your crypto trading, if that's if that's of interest to you, or alternatively book your flights through our Vitality Travel directly in the bank app, or access Vitality Fitness. So kind of full super app integration of third parties as well as your whole financial services ecosystem through Discovery, your life insurance, your investments, motor insurance, health. All of those are embedded fully in the app. The third component is the shared value architecture. So the rewards that you then derive from and monetize through all of the different behaviors, accessing things like active rewards and Apple Watch, which our clients love and use. The fourth is a service platform that is not just digital. It's full service, human plus AI, and effectively what we've been able to do through the use of technology is to effectively create a 24/7 banker available to every single client across the bank, whether you're a private banking client or with a named relationship banker, or a brand new client on one of our entry level products. You get access to a highly qualified human banker 24/7 that uses kind of the best technology to be able to deliver incredible levels of service to you. The fifth is the kind of all of the lifestyle services like health and wellness. And then the sixth is a data intelligence layer that enables us to kind of customize and personalize the whole experience for you, and to understand your behaviors, whether it be to provide you with better service, or to protect you in the event of us identifying suspicious transactions and potential fraudulent activity on your bank account. So all of these kind of aspects come together to create what we believe is a very different experience, a super bank, and that's what it is.
Yeah, okay. And I guess at the end of the day, when you're creating things at this kind of scale, it's all about efficiencies, and that's one of the standout themes is the bank's ability to scale efficiently while improving profitability. And you've now moved well past that profit inflection point. How have you managed to grow at this pace, considering how young you are, while simultaneously strengthening your unit of economics? And really, as a bank, it's what's the foundation made of, right? And
Yeah.
you guys have achieved this.
Yeah, so I think it's a function of a few different factors. The one being a a really scalable branchless infrastructure that allows us to kind of add clients without having to add variable infrastructure to support them. The second is the the sense that our app gives you a branch in your hand. in your pocket. It's kind of like all of the functionality that you need access to, in most cases, can be accessed directly in the bank app, anytime, day or night. So you don't actually have to speak to a human banker. We're available if you do, if you need to. But what we've seen actually is that despite the fact that our client base has increased by about 30% year on year, the number of calls coming in to our bankers has actually decreased over the same period. Clients are using our AR services and the app for digital servicing more and more. And so the combination of that is that we've invested heavily in technology and in people around the technology. So brilliant data scientists and AI technicians, actuaries and systems development engineers. So really, really kind of brilliant team to give effect to the technology. That's then effectively created this very scalable platform that clients are using.
Look, the one thing that petrifies me is security and being hacked. I mean, not just with your banking, but just everything that we do. These criminals are getting smarter. They're coming up with innovative ways. And, as a bank, I'm sure you've got to keep and stay a few steps ahead of these guys. And the one thing is for certain is that security remains top of mind for South Africans and banks in particular. I mean, any organization for that matter. But Discovery Bank has introduced several major security enhancements over the last few months, from advanced fraud detection to in-app calling. When I'm banking and I get a call, it says, "Are you sure you want to answer this? We can see that you're busy banking. Are you sure you know who you're talking to?" Which is great. And of course, all those other digital safety tools. Can you unpack the security strategy and the impact that you're seeing on fraud reduction and client trust?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a major issue just in terms of particularly the social engineering that we see, which through whether it's kind of smishing or phishing or vishing, where you get a call and it's incredibly sophisticated from a person who's impersonating somebody from a bank, and it's very difficult to be able to tell the difference as a consumer. So what we've done is really invest in the technology to be able to alert clients to suspicious or kind of risky situations, and it manifests in a number of different areas. We use AI to analyze every single transaction that clients process on our banking app, and in so doing, we analyze their personal behaviors in terms of the type of transactions that they process, the values, the time of day that they usually transact, as well as looking at the beneficiary to who they're paying. And based on all of those different factors, we will then either alert the client to say this looks highly suspicious, and it's kind of a red alert for the following reasons. And do you want to, we would recommend you check and confirm the beneficiary details before you actually process, or alternatively, we may even delay that transaction if we feel it's highly risky, and then call out to the client. Obviously, we want to have to balance that against kind of creating real friction for clients, which is frustrating. And then if we really are deeply concerned, based on what we're observing in the account, not us, kind of just our AI engines in real time, is to even lock down the account, go into almost kind of defense mode. If we suspect that the account is being or transactions are being processed under duress or against or as a result of the phone being hacked for whatever reason, stolen, etc. So all of those things are monitored by our AI systems in real time. We also have a lot of other areas that we invested in. So, for example, if somebody's accessing our bank website on a desktop, there it's a little bit more complicated to assess who's sitting in front of the computer. And so what we've done in that instance is we've created a very simple QR code that the client scans with their banking app on their mobile phone, which allows us to prove and to confirm that it is the client themselves sitting in front of the website and the desktop itself. So proximity confirmation is an important aspect in that instance. And then we've also created things like our digital account vault and panic code, whereby you can effectively protect your most valuable accounts, and put them and create a specific PIN code for those accounts in the app. So creating another level of security for clients. So all of these things kind of create layers and layers of security that we use to monitor, protect, and then secure the account for our clients.
Okay, no, that's fantastic. So, we've mentioned AI quite a few times in this conversation. So clearly, I mean, every organization in the world, if you're not embracing AI and really using it to its maximum, you're going to be left behind because it unlocks so much value within an organization. And you've touched on it a few times in our conversation. So you're using it for security, you're using it to optimize, you're using it across many different ways. But at Discovery Bank, you're also using AI to personalize banking and improve the risk management, as we've been discussing very briefly, and also enhancing that financial behavior. So, how do you use the AI in these regards? Because it almost tweaks the user into saying, "Go there, try this, try that," and I find myself, discovering a lot more things about my banking and how I manage my money, and ultimately I improve my habits, and so it's all for the good. So AI is playing a massive role in personalizing your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's almost like a coach in a sense, in many respects, like a financial coach, nudging you, reminding you of certain things, highlighting the fact that there may be better options available to you, and it's really about personalization and the ability to hyper personalize the experience, but at scale using AI. So the kind of the next best action that a client should be undertaking is so specific to their individual needs, and it might not be kind of a an obvious thing like invest your money in a savings account as opposed to leaving it in a transaction account. Those kinds of things are helpful, but they may be easier to spot yourself. There are things like additional security measures that you might not have implemented on your account that help you secure your banking even better, and those kinds of things that are really kind of powerful. In that it's almost as if somebody's continuously scanning your banking behavior, and your bank accounts to offer you this hyper personalized advice on an ongoing basis, and that's really what we try and do through the bank.
Okay. Your client acquisition, I was looking at your recent results, has been astonishing. More than 70% of new Discovery Bank clients are new to the group. So they don't even have Discovery Medical Aid, if I'm not mistaken. So they're completely new
Yeah.
into the Discovery umbrella. So what exactly is resonating with most of the consumers, and how is the bank able to attract and onboard high quality clients at scale and cost effectively?
Yeah, so I think the the kind of the growth of the bank initially, I think, was very much um, in the early days directly from the existing Discovery client base, our traditional clients, as you say, clients that had Discovery Up Medical Scheme and our other products. Today, as you correctly say, there are about 1,000 clients a day joining us, and the bank is their first experience or first product entry point into Discovery. And I think so it talks to the power of the bank independently, in a sense, and the kind of the banking functionality and capabilities that have been built, and the model itself that is different. That shared value banking is good for the client, and I think that message is obviously resonating across a broad cross spectrum of clients, and it's all the way from young graduates who starting their first job, opening their first bank account, and choosing Discovery Bank to do that. And we found that that's a kind of a very popular space for the bank, all the way to private banking clients in our Purple banking product, where you're getting brilliant service from relationship bankers and the best rewards in the form of travel discounts of up to 75% on business class tickets anywhere in the world, and domestically. So really powerful rewards on the other end of the spectrum. So we found that, the entire kind of product or client segment that the bank touches is very, very broad, as a result of that, and that's obviously what's resonating.
Yeah. So I was thinking, all those new customers that are coming in, and as the bank is growing, are you seeing, more stronger composite integration? So, for example, people that join the bank, then they say, "Oh, look, there's an interesting health product. There's a interesting life product, or my car insurance. Let me talk to Discovery Insure." So, are people coming in banking initially via the banking app, and are they looking at all the other different products and then moving to those products as well? Is that part of your long-term strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we want to be the kind of the financial services hub or entire universe for our clients, and we have products that span the full range of clients' financial needs, and very much so. The clients can manage their whole portfolio, Discovery portfolio, directly in Discovery Bank app, and it's incredibly sophisticated. So, if, for example, you want to get a motor insurance quote from Discovery Insure, you can do it directly in the bank app now. In a couple of minutes, you can put in your vehicle details, and a lot of your personal details are pre-populated because we know them from your banking, and quite quickly you get a motor insurance quote, which you can activate in real time in the banking app, and we're able to give our clients a really good pricing and accurate pricing because of all of the data that we hold, and able to collate for clients. So it really does enable clients to integrate across their full portfolio, and if they do, the benefits multiply. You get more miles if you're managing your health well, and you're driving well, and you're managing your finance. Your healthy food discounts go up, your travel rewards increase. So it's additive, and I think it makes a lot of sense at a client level because of that.
So, Hilton, you've set yourself some big targets. I was looking at the target that you have said, and I don't know if I should hold you to this, but it's an ambitious target. You've basically said that Discovery Bank is going to reach a target of 3 billion rand in operating profit by financial year 2029, which is just around the corner. And the result suggests that you're on track. The way you guys are growing exponentially, it's been impressive. And you're very confident in that number. What gives you the confidence in reaching that target? And what can the clients expect in the market next from Discovery Bank as you continue moving forward and scaling this incredible product?
So, Aki, there's no hubris, I can tell you. We've got a lot of work to do to get there. As you say, we're on track for where we wanted to be, probably a bit ahead of where we wanted to be. But we've got a lot to do, and it kind of talks to the original, the initial statement, or the initial part of the discussion, which is that we're actually just getting going in many respects, but the growth is accelerating. It's exponential, and so I think you can hold us to it, but there's a lot of work to do. It means we have to continue to innovate. We got to continue to add real functionality that our clients love and use in the bank, and I think that we are inspired by it. Quite frankly, we don't see it as kind of a goal, in the sense that is the kind of the end game. It's hopefully just an output. It's not about the kind of the profit number. It's about the fact that we would have, if we're able to achieve it, really done something special in terms of growth, impact, and a very, very different and special bank.
Hilton, I mean, as a head of Discovery Bank, you've been in this position for a few years now. Is there one thing, or maybe a couple of things, that perhaps really surprise you about your customers, and how they behave, perhaps, or changes that you see in people when they join Discovery Bank? Is there something that stands out for you as CEO of Discovery Bank that you don't often hear about in other banks or financial services industries that people do at Discovery Bank? Because there's something that resonates with your customers that you're doing, which is what's spurring you forward at this pace. So is there one thing that's you've set up and you said, that's really interesting?
So I think, I mean, there are a few of them. The first thing that I saw is that clients join the bank at all kinds of hours, which is almost kind of, which I guess maybe is intuitive in that, the flexibility is there. But if you think that historically people were constrained by bank hours, that concept that you could only go to the bank like between 9 o'clock or 8:30 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon, there was like banking hours. It was a thing. We found that about half of our clients join us outside of traditional banking hours. So it's after hours, middle of the night, on the weekends. They kind of the onboarding at all hours and times. And it talks to I think, just the flexibility of a fully digital bank, that you're never constrained by time. So that's maybe one kind of interesting insight. The second is how frequently our clients use the bank. About half of our clients access the bank app every day. So they're using it every single day of their life. And it kind of talks to just how relevant banking is, but in particular our model, which is so central to how people conduct their lives in so many different respects. They kind of tracking their health, their exercise on our banking app for their active rewards every week, and they're using their miles and they're tracking all of their banking. So they're using the bank in a way that we've never seen a financial services product actually be used in terms of the frequency and the intensity and the relevance. And that is really kind of amazing to see and to be a part of that. It's a privilege.
Yes. No, it certainly is. And I was thinking about this the other night. I was going through the app and I was saying, I wonder what reward people choose the most. I don't know if you know which is the most popular reward, and how much of that reward, but I always get the coffee, and my mates that I talk to, they're all doing different things, but I get a sense that coffee is probably the most rewarded thing within the app, and I always stock up on coffee. So I don't know when was the last time I paid for coffee, but thank you very much for that. But which is the most popular reward? And if so, if it's coffee, how many coffees do you guys give away every month?
Sure. Coffee is probably, in terms of like just the numbers, it probably is the most widely utilized, and it feels like a spoil. It feels like a proper reward, a coffee. So it kind of it makes sense. We see huge amounts of flights being booked and miles being used on flights. We do about 1 million flights a year being booked. So that kind of talks to just the scale. I mean, it's absolutely massive. And then the third category is on the 15th of the month, when you use your miles at some of our partners like Takealot or Apple, you get a double discount. Miles are worth more on the 15th of the month, on D-Day. And we see that that's by far the most popular day of the month to use miles. And so, that's another, that if you look at the time of the month that people get their rewards, that's the 15th.
Well, how do you think I bought my new phone? Thank you very
Brilliant.
much. 15th of the month. Hylton
Amazing.
Kallner, who's the CEO of Discovery Bank. Hylton, thank you very much for your time. Hylton Kallner, as I said, CEO of Discovery Bank, giving us an update, and he does it very regularly. So thank you very much for that. And it's great to see the banking doing so well. And we're gonna keep interviewing you to check how you're doing with that target. It's a big one, 3 billion rand, 2029. It's just around the corner. Hylton, thank you for your time.
Thanks so much, Aki.